Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Mara here, and today we're looking at MoonLighter. So I've already played a very small amount of this game. So we're going to start a new game, and we're just going to do normal for hard mode. And so yeah, this is it's quite a fun game. My buddy Frit, he gave it to me. He had an extra copy, so he sent it over to me. So special shout out to Frit. So, the base story of the game is that these dungeons started popping up, and basically everyone went crazy. It was like the American Gold Rush, but for dungeons, more or less. And so this little town outside of the dungeon popped up, and a bunch of merchants and people moved into the town. Adventurers would come. They'd go and they'd try and loot the dungeon, get rich off of that stuff and whatnot. But too many people were dying inside the dungeon. So they more or less went and, well, sealed up the dungeon, as you would expect. Because they don't exactly want to be known for everyone coming to their town and dying in this dungeon. Now, you play as the basically one of the shopkeepers that has not left the city, because a ton of people have left the city. The town's kind of dead now, and so you're just kind of here as one of the last remaining people. Okay? And so here we're going to see a bit of the actual movement and stuff in the dungeon. So it's just a quick little tutorial. I'm not going to really pay too much mind to it because I've already done it, and it's very, very simple. So, this game, it's kind of fun because there's kind of like three... It's almost like 3 or 4 games all in one. And so, what I mean by that is, yeah, I'll take that, thank you. So you've got this little dungeon exploration part of the game. And as you can see, it's just, typical roguelike. We're gonna go around, we're gonna smash stuff. We're gonna have ourselves a good time. And the very top there, you can see it's telling us we can auto attack with what I have re-keybound to left click. You also have a second attack that you can use with your right click. So with the broom, it's considered a spear. So you have a bit of a stabbing motion with your left and a charging with your right. Now we can dodge with our spacebar, as you just kind of saw. And so here's kind of like a mini game for the dungeon exploring part. So you have all these items. Now right now we're just going to grab all of them, but eventually they're going to have a bunch of different conditions on them, which we will hopefully be able to get to in only a few minutes here. Because I'm going to do my best to play this quite quickly. Actually, I'm just going to let them kill me, because this is a preset thing. They will come forever until you die. So that's the starter dungeon. Okay, and here's an old man. He's going to come over and help us. I'm going to skip through basically all of the dialogue for this. If in the future people want me to read out all of the dialogue in games, let me know, and I definitely can do that. But for this game, at least for this video, we're just going to kind of rush through the tutorial, because it took me like 40 minutes on stream to read through all of the different messages and whatnot. And yeah, it was... Maybe not 40, that might be an exaggeration, but it was a lot. There is a lot of messages. And he's basically just explaining what I had already said. So he's going to go and give us a real weapon instead of the broom that we're using because we're a silly boy, as he calls us. So now we have a sword and shield. So our left click will be a sword slice, and the right click will be a a block. We'll be able to block. So right now he wants us to open the shop so we can see how this works. So this is kind of the second part of the game. Like this is really cool. So here she's gonna come over here and she's gonna buy this that power gem, which is what all of the adventurers came over here to find. This person's gonna be upset because it's too expensive. See, that's fine. Okay, he's just gonna yell at us. So, and here he's just showing us that we can, whenever you have an item at neutral popularity, so you see it on the middle of the right-hand side, that blue page, where it says popularity and then neutral. Whenever something's at neutral, you can add information to it. So, like, I know, for example, that I can actually sell these up to 110. Oh my gosh, he likes to talk a lot. I can actually sell this for up to 110 gold, and the people will still be okay with it. They won't be super upset. Now, we are going to go up to the dungeon, and now we're going to do an actual live dungeon. So hopefully you can see some of the things I was talking about. And hopefully I don't get too greedy like I did when I was streaming. I kept limit testing and getting super greedy and getting myself killed. So, as I said, there's a left click attack, as you can see here, and our right click for this is a block. The block seems kind of weak. I don't... Like, you still take a ton of damage even when you block, which is why I actually prefer using spears, at least for the golem dungeon. Okay, so whenever you come across these types of rooms, there's usually some lore. So for this one, we're just going to mash through it. There we go. And we're going to come down here. This explains basically how the dungeons work. So you can see on the very left-hand side, there's a 1. On the right-hand side, the purple, there's a 2. Orange is 3. Mauve is 4. And then the top one is the 5th and final dungeon if you have the base game. Now, Frit was extra cool, and he gave me the expansion as well. So if we turn this into a series, we'll actually be able to go and see all of that. Okay. Yeah, and so this is going to teach us how to teleport out. So in the very bottom right, you see that little symbol there? And it has a 4. That's because I have it keybound to my mouse 4 button. But basically, we can use that to teleport out of the dungeon, and then we get to keep all of the loot we took. Whereas if we got knocked out, we only keep the 5 items that we have on our body, and we lose everything in our bag. Perfect. We're gonna come talk to the old man again. This old man, he's a real talker. So we skip through all this again real quick here. And like I said, for future games, if folks would like me to actually read out the things, I probably won't put on voices, per se. But I would be more than happy to read out the dialogue and whatnot if people are interested in that. Anyways, so he just told us that we are able to grow both the town and our shop at this little town board here. So let's go ahead and talk to this. So let's look at the town. We can get Vulcan's Forge, which, I mean, it's a forge, it's a blacksmith, or we could get the wooden hat. You can get both of them, but these are the first 2 we unlock. Now that we've got a whole bunch of money, we are going to go and we're actually going to get both the forge and we're going to get the herbalist house, or the alchemist house, I suppose we should call it. And so we'll show these off, and then we will probably end the very first video there. For the next video, I want to go into the dungeon and at least kill the first boss. Now we're gonna get both of these, and then I'll go over to their shops, we'll say hi, and we'll just kind of look at what they sell, so that you guys can have an idea of how the shops work. Now, I haven't actually gotten a lot farther than this, so let's talk to the blacksmith. Hello, friend. So if you look in the bottom right, you'll see that there's a recipe. And in that recipe, there's a whole bunch of different items. And it tells you how many you own and how many are required. And then there's also a gold value. So the blacksmith will make us our armor, so there's boots, there's helmets, and there's a chest piece. And then you have all these different categories for different weapons. So for this guy, you have to gather all of the resources required, and you have to get the money for it. Now what's kind of cool is, let's say we want this bandana, right? So we can add it to our wish list, and what that will do is when we're in a dungeon like this, you see how there's a star on this one right here? So that means that is a required component for the item we have wish listed. Let's go and talk to our friend over here, the potion seller. Just gonna skip through her dialogue real quick. So you can see that she can do potions. And again, on the bottom right, you'll see that there are recipes. Now with her, it's kind of cool. You can just straight buy potions, but they're much more expensive. Or you can bring some resources and they become much cheaper. So like here, for example, we can use a slime and pay 118 gold, or we can just buy the potion for 379 gold. We're also going to look at her enchantments. Here we go. So for the enchantments, you can see on the upper right hand side, it'll say the weapon type, so training short sword, and under that, it will show what the enchantment does. So this increases our damage by 7, from 20 to 27. And then, of course, there's a recipe again. We need 3 things that we haven't found yet, and we need 1,000 gold. So if you did like this, please, leave a like, comment, all that fun jazz. If you have any questions, let me know. If it looks like something you would enjoy, I know you didn't see much, but if it looks like something you would enjoy, there will be a Steam page link below, and you can definitely check it out for yourself. But yeah, anywho, thanks folks, and I will see you all in the next one.